Hey, this is Steve with RV to Cycle. Ever wonder how they make a bicycle? If that interests you, stick with us. You might enjoy this. In late January 2022, we left the Philadelphia area and headed to Chattanooga, Tennessee, home of the American Bicycle Group. Manufacturers of Litespeed titanium, Quintana Roo, also known as QR, and Obed bikes. We were there to pick up Kelly's new Obed Boundary gravel bike and get a plant tour. Our host for the day, Chris Brown, National Sales Manager, Litespeed Titanium, Quintana Roo, and Obed.
Delivery service picks up now on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So like there's a little less bikes here because they just picked up yesterday.
Yesterday, yeah.
But that's the home delivery service, obviously, where it's already the bikes are all ready to go. Whereas the bikes and the boxes are all ready to go too, but they just require a little more get together.
Yeah.
When they arrive to them. These are all tools. We use this huge crane-looking thing. We'll put tubes on there and literally form it to different shapes for mountain bikes and such.
Yeah.
So they'll literally put, this is kind of the I'll show you here, kind of like the rear triangle part of the bike. So different curves and cold working to get more tire clearance, you know, but it hasn't been mitered yet, but this is likely a chainstay crate to give the bike a little more tire clearance on the inside. So we do forming, whether it's on a disc press or we have other hydraulic press that of a specific shape or curve to a stay to give it more compliance or different aspects. We make all this in-house in our CNC machine or CNC machines or our lathes, and so we do all the rear. This is like rear triangle world, and then just one row over is the front triangle world. This tube at one point was round and it's put on here and it gets pulled through the die to create the shape that we're after. This tube has a certain form down where you would cut, you know, at the bottom bracket to help the stiffness. So we form it a specific way at the bottom bracket, and then it actually changes form as you go up it to the front of the bike to give it a more arrow shape and to match up to the head tube a little cleaner from a stiffness. We call it biaxial ovalizing because it changes form along the way, and then it also has like a teardrop shape as well to give a little aero performance upgrade, and it also, doing this cold working, helps stiffen up the bike so it doesn't twist or flex quite as much. This is in a bike called the Ultimate. It's one of our higher end bikes.
So I'm basically cutting a hole through the tube, that way it can fit up against another tube to be welded to it. So like after it's fully cut, so that way, that way it will be able to fit nice and snug up against that. Yeah. For when you weld it. And this tells us the geometry, so the exact angle that everything needs to be cut at. And each side will be a little bit different. Each bike will be a little bit different.
I've already cut this and this to fit, but watch yourself.
That's the C-tube and the bottom bracket.
See, she fit. But what I'm doing now is to knot so it fits on my seat tube.
Okay.
And I'm almost there.
Almost there.
See, if you look right down here, see, it's not sealed up
Not
there.
quite,
so I've got to take about 40 or 50 more thousandths off.
Thanks,
Oh my
And that
gosh.
should,
Bye-bye.
so it should slide right in.
Oh my.
And
Very precise.
yeah.
They're doing a rear triangle here, same concept. And you can really see, again, all the forming and how the different shapes and different parts for drivetrain stiffness at the rear wheel or wheel stiffness and then drivetrain stiffness here with different profiles. And also trying to keep the ride compliant where we want it to be with those shapes. So just so many facets that go into the process. So this is the seat stay, or you got seat stay, chain stay. Nice and ovalized there, so your rear of the bike's tracking really well, and then it's right there, it's ovalized there. And the bottom bracket bottom bracket flex. So all shape specific, to give you enough tire clearance on the inside of the chain, you control the forming. So,
Very nice.
So you got this station, there's one.
yeah, we got a couple, like 4.
Again with the flag.
Oh yeah, yeah. Mine comes with a Traveler that is American. Obviously, we all make everything here in Chattanooga, USA, and it's got exactly who all gives you the model. This is a mountain bike, so it's our Pinhoti 3 small serial number, and then it gives it along the way as far as who's tack welded it, who's going to hold the fitting while they're welding it. They've done the weld in the front triangle, the rest of the welding, QA, some of the QC aspects, the finishing, and if there's something custom or special for the customer or whatever, we have a note on here. And this follows it all the way through our whole process where everybody's signed off on it, and it comes with each bike so that you have colors of your life, as far as who actually worked on your bike, and it's really cool memento. And yeah, every frame comes with that.
Yeah, that's one of those things you when you get your bike, you put it in a frame.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Cool picture of different head tubes for different size bikes that we make over here in the machine shop, whether it's a small rim brake, there's a medium large, or a medium large, and large, and extra large.
Ah, the smell of cutting oil.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you probably should wear a mask every day anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, here you go. That's pretty cool. As you can see, I think we're making it's probably T47, making the threads in the shell.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
So cutting those, yeah, you can see it actually cutting around the edges.
Yeah, I saw. Yeah.
You can see it's cutting on that side. It's coming around right now.
Yeah.
Cutting the threads in the shell.
Oh, that's just fascinating. It is fascinating.
This is the only factory she's ever been in. And I've worked in manufacturing for over 40 years.
Oh, funny. Yeah, that is ironic, right?
Isn't it?
Yeah, so that's put each frame in there. That's why we charge extra for that service, because it's each one's done individually. It's not done like the shells are all done as a press fit 30.
Right.
But to do the T47, we have to put each frame on there after it's been welded, because they come this way, or we machine them this way. And so then it goes back into there after it's all been welded
and cut.
Precisely cut the T47 threads, if somebody chooses that. Otherwise, it'd come with the press fit system, which I'm not sure we've got it going right now. I don't think so.
Doesn't look like it.
He's got a shell in there where he's turning it down the outside.
Okay.
We take extra material off around the outside, and even on the inside, to take about 95 more grams out of a standard bottom bracket shell. Because most of them wouldn't have this lip here; they'd just be straight across, so it's heavier. But we take some extra material out in non-high stress areas, and makes it a lot lighter on our higher performance bike. These are like head tube extenders. Like if somebody needs a taller front end, they can order this, and we press it into the front of the bike to get the front end less aggressive.
Yeah.
Say you don't use maneuver. We make these out of titanium, and that way it blends in with the frame good, so it look, like some add-on.
Rather than using a carbon stack, right?
Exactly. You may still need to, but this gets you higher. And
save the look.
Exactly. So it's something we offer in different heights or
different sizes.
This is how the shell looks before you machine it.
Okay.
It's a big old chunk of titanium.
Yeah, it is.
And then that's why it takes so much effort, and why our higher end bikes are more expensive, because there's a lot more machining work we do in the shell to get it to where the weight is where we want it.
Yep.
These are QC stations where they have alignment, gauges and check to make sure everything's parallel, and go/no-go gauges.
Right.
And, wheels we have set up to check to make sure spacing's where it needs to be. And this is cool. So before our bikes ship or get built, there's a facing. We face them all in house, so we get it all parallel. Or get it all flush and internal in, out in. So here and inside. So that's done. That's the head tube, and then that's a bottom bracket one. So they'll do the bottom bracket and the head tube. But this is where we make a frame into like a dull titanium look. There's a frame in there. So they'll have a frame in there, and they'll blast it with really fine type of bead, like a sand almost, to make it kind of that duller look, and get down easy. It just makes it real clean and refined. And then they go in and use the hand pads, 3M hand pads, or some of those tools to make it that shinier look. To make it turn from a dull, blasted look to the bright brush that we have. That's where we go through all the process of the power tools and the hand tools to bring that tie to life. That's why our bikes have a brighter look than a lot of our competitors. When we have carbon frames and such come in, these stations over here are where they have where they check them in. Like there's an Obed right there, so they'll go through the process of mounting the bolts, mounting dropouts, checking to make sure the bottom bracket tolerances are correct, make sure the head tube's where it needs to be, adding in through axles, you know, just making sure everything's to spec from our supplier. And then
just the frame itself,
just
right?
the raw frame and the fork.
Yeah.
I mean, here's a fork. They've got a fork, and they'll go through different processes, hanging the small parts on it and prepping it for paint and looking for any imperfections.
Yeah.
And so this is just kind of a starting point of the process as far as on the carbon side. Here's a raw, really raw version of the car. You can feel it. It's really, I mean, it's light. It's
Pick it up, girl.
Yeah, I wanna feel the.
Yeah,
oh my!
Really,
oh my!
Yeah, it's really light. Yeah, it's really.
Oh
So
my
see,
God.
that's what your bike feels like after I picked mine up.
Yeah.
So 2 paint booths. We have that one here. Let's see. You can kind of take a peek. It's vacuum, so they have a big vacuum back here to suck the debris out. But you can take a peek.
Yeah.
And so they have like little travelers that they set them up on. They're all masked out. Those are a couple of beds and a QR. So there's a QR, and then those are both boundaries.
There's a couple of them here. So are these drying?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. They might already be dry actually.
Oh yeah.
Run a white QR.
Yes.
Which talk about having to be clean.
Oh my.
Yeah. But they are pretty. But
They are.
You gotta really want white.
No, I don't want white.
Yeah. Yeah. Have a smudge on your hand or.
Well, it's just like having a white vehicle.
Yeah.
You know, you really got to want it.
These are all customers' orders waiting on frames.
Waiting on frames.
Yeah. So this is.
So mine was in a box for a while.
Yeah, exactly. You would have been just a bin sitting on the shelf for the longest time, like those.
Oh my
So they're
God.
waiting either on a frame or a wheel. You know, they might have just ordered, so we prep all along so that you know you're kind of in line. You're not getting your parts kind of robbed.
Yeah.
Way down at the end are where they print all the graphics. So we actually print, you know, and cut all our own graphics down there. And depending on the bike that's coming through, you can see their graphic. Might have 2 different green ones coming. They lay all the graphics on in here.
So that's all it's done in here, right? It's just the graphics.
Just graphics in this.
So
part.
they print down there and then
They kind of
and then apply as they go through.
Yep.
So each station does all the graphics, or do you just do? So you just do the down tube here and then move it to the next station.
No, they're all trained. They're
Okay,
all trained to do
okay.
the full
thing.
The full bike. Yep.
Of course, there's not that many.
Yeah. Right.
Right.
And it's pretty standard at that point, you know.
Yeah.
But the QRs get a little tricky because they're more of those arrow shapes. You know, those ones are the more difficult ones to graphic. And this is also where they put on the.
Yes. The ever important. Yes.
So all that goes on here. Any of the frame protection. You know, things of that nature.
Yeah, like right here.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah. So these have come from paint, and they'll get all graphic.
So from here, Chris, where do these guys go?
They'll match up to their parts and wheels, you know, wherever it is in the, you know, how close it is.
Yeah.
And then we'll walk over here.
Oh, Christmas town.
And then, yeah, exactly. And yeah.
This is where the elves live.
Magic happens.
This is where all the magic happens.
This is where the bikes come to life over here.
Oh my.
But yeah, so this is where the parts will come, and I mean, there's one right there, you know, in process. So, you know.
And that's going to be a DI?
That one, I'm not sure. Not sure. But and then there's tri-bikes, you know, all of them are ready to build, whether it's tri or just tie. So any given day, there's a mix of triathlon, carbon, titanium, mountain bike,
Road, mountain, gravel. Yep.
Watch your head. And it flows this way. So like these bikes, either they got near the end and they realized there was an issue with a part, or it turned out we might have had the wrong seat post or something, and it'll wait until we get the right part, and then it'll go down to kind of final. These are kind of the final QC checks down here, and the chair there is kind of the leader of the QC. So he's kind of the last stop, you know, make sure everything's good to go. before it'll go over to either get in a box or go over to like the home delivery service. And on a day like today when it's cold out, they'll at least try to test ride it around here and just make sure everything's good.
Yeah, working right.
I was going to ask. Yeah.
Otherwise, if it's not, they'll go out and ride down the street a couple of times, make sure everything's good before it goes in a box or things like that.
Which sounds like a lot of fun until you have to do it to get a paycheck every day, right?
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, oh man, can somebody else ride this bike for me?
You can't just go jump it or whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
You gotta be like, this isn't mine. Take it easy. But yeah, so we have so many good guys here.
I like my bike. I like the color of it too.
Well, that's it for today. Hope you got something out of this video. Entertainment, education, whatever it may be. If you did enjoy it, give it a thumbs up. It makes it easier for other people to find it. And we want to thank especially Chris Brown and the rest of the folks at American Bicycle Group for taking time out of their day to walk us through not only the manufacturing process of their operation, but to allow us to film and allow us to film them. We thank you all.